I was outside. He took my phone. He got up in my face and he was chest bumping me. I said, please give me back my phone. He said I didn't take it with this narcissistic, psychopathic grin on his face. What happened next? Well, let's see. I shoved him away from me. The cops even counted out the steps to the grill where his drunk ass fell. He came charging in after me when I went in to get my daughter to leave. He came charging in towards me as he came running from the door and tackled me to the floor, put his hands over my mouth. I couldn't breathe. I look over at my daughter, crying in the corner, no one to hold her, no one to comfort her in this traumatic moment with this man. As I'm looking at my daughter, his hands are over my mouth. After my body slammed the floor, I started to black out. My vision was going. Everything was turning black. Blood was gushing from my nose as he sat there and forcefully put his hands over my mouth and smothered me on the living room floor in front of our child. I saw her crying in the corner, and it gave me the strength to come back to life. And when I did, I shoved him off of me, shoved him so far with all my might and all my strength, and said, not today, God, am I going to let this man kill me, because that was his words. I'm going to kill you. After I shoved him off of me, he went running upstairs, hid in the bedroom, and called the cops on me because he had just unalived me, taken my breath away from me, slowed down my heart rate, blood gushing from my nose as I stood up. That's the type of man that the Masons are protecting, because his daddy was a 32-degree Mason, I believe Eastern Star, I'm not quite sure, as he first time mentioned he was in the last court hearing, where my civil rights to a fair trial were taken away from me and I was unable to get a restraining order from a man, a second restraining order. He already had first one for 3 years, because he kicked me on the street so bad after my fibroid tumor embolization while holding my daughter in his hands. The steel-toe boot digging into my stomach, and his conflict of interest cops. They made no report that night from a dispatch call. I got up the next day. I went down to the courthouse. I filed for a 3-year restraining order, and it was a female judge, which was the last time I was able to speak in a courtroom. That was the last time I was able to present my story in a courtroom. My arm was all beaten up from shoulder to wrist in front of his child. He punched holes in the wall. He kicked a door in by her as she was sitting there crying. As I picked her up and swooped her out of the way so she wouldn't get hurt. Because I locked him outside, because I was afraid he was going to hurt me. He already had said he was going to kill me. He already said that he was going to take my child away from me for good. He threatened me physical harm, threatened me and his family, his mother, the alcoholic drug addict that she is, popping her mom's Xanax while drinking a beer in the kitchen. Told me she was going to punch me in the face. Verbal threats is all I got from him and his mom and his sister. M80s going off in the middle of the night, living alone with my child. By his brother's drug dealer friends. 16 years of hell on earth due to Masons. To a Mason man, and I was unable to receive justice for his violence up against me in the kitchen as he was chest bumping me once again. How much more would I have to endure with these Masons and this man? How much more conflict of interest with no or lack of evidence was unmarked on every case since that 3-year restraining order, showing the conflict of interest and the violation of the restraining order was there all along, just hidden so quietly and secretly in the background, as his well-established and well-known family on his dad's side of Masons. My story will be told.